last 10 years that I have been a reseller, and I would consider myself at this point probably 8 years being a pretty successful full-time reseller. People have just kind of shown to me or asked me, like, what are some of the things that help you be successful? And I've noticed in the people that do closet reviews with me, some of the things and reasons why they're not successful. And so I thought today would be a really good opportunity to just kind of share with you, after doing this for a decade, 5 things that I think make me a successful reseller. And they're probably not what you think. They're not, oh, because I share 9 times a day. It's not tactical stuff like that. It's more the way I handle my business and the way I set things up and attack things in my business. And hopefully you can get at least 1 or 2 that will help you move forward to be even more successful than you already are. Download your free reseller resource guide today. I constantly update and share with you discounts, favorites, tools, and resources to help you with your reselling business. After the video, click the link in the description and get your totally free guide today. So I think some of the keys to success or habits that I have that have made me a successful reseller, they're all things that I do over and over again. So I will call them habits. And I think if you're someone that struggles with consistency, that can be difficult, because if you're always doing a different business model, if you're always trying to find different items, if you're always trying to do lots of different things at once, then you would struggle with creating habits and sticking with them. And I think overall, someone that does the same thing over and over and over again will do better than someone that's doing different things all of the time. So do keep that in mind. I think these things are things that are habits and that you need to do consistently, repeatable things. So the first one is knowing when to cut your losses. So this doesn't necessarily mean I bought an item, I listed the item, and I put it up, and in 3 weeks it didn't sell, so I took the item down and I donated it back to Goodwill. Like, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I have purchased pallets of items. I have purchased tons of boxes of items. I've purchased lots of things in bulk. I've purchased boutique items where I buy several quantity of a jewelry item or a shawl or a scarf or something like that. And so sometimes I'm good and I pick the right thing and it sells like hotcakes and everything's good. And then sometimes I make a mistake and I pick something that's a complete and utter flop. And I think you can kind of turn a blind eye and pretend that that mistake didn't happen and just kind of leave that item in your closet and just say eventually it will sell, and not really try to deal with anything about it. But for me, I don't do that. I really kind of target how to sell proactively everything that I have over time. So let's say I was able to get a bulk order of Sachin and Bobby dresses, and some of them sold really well. Floral, flowing, midi dresses, awesome, beautiful, great. Then there were some that were like less desirable. So I had them, up at a certain price, and it just really wasn't working. I wasn't getting a lot of likes or offers or anything like that. So then I said, okay, well, let me send a test one to ThredUp and see if I can, get one to sell over there. Okay, let me send one to the RealReal and see if I can get it to sell over there. Now I have 3 sales options instead of just Poshmark. Then I have options for, dropping the price or changing out the cover photo or adding additional keywords. So I'm constantly zeroing in, targeting in, and saying, what can I do to sell this item? Because I have multiple of them. Okay, fine. But if that doesn't work, if all of that work doesn't work, then I know when to cut my losses. So there are some items that I will leave up for a good 6 months or a year, and then I will say, all right, that didn't work. This is not working. And so I will take that item out of my closet and I will sell it in another way. Whether I sell them all to ThredUp over time, or I sell them all to the RealReal over time, or I take it to a buy-sell trade store. And if it's a loss, which I don't usually have, but if it's a loss, I take it. And I take it because when I bought them, in that month, I didn't lose money. I made money that month. And now I'm at a point where I've bought other items, they're making money, and now I have these items. And so either I'm going to sell them for whatever I can and just recoup some of my money. I'm still going to make profit in this month. So overall on that item, I may not have made profit, but I know when to cut my losses and not keep that in my store, dragging it down, not getting likes, not, I'm storing them. I'm literally sitting on money that I spent, not getting the sale. So if I can liquidate it in some way, even if I'm getting a loss, at least I'm recuperating my money, and then I can use that money to purchase other, hopefully better selling items. So I think knowing when to cut your losses is important. It doesn't mean make it a total loss. It doesn't mean take the item and donate it back to Goodwill. It means try to do something else with it, even if you're going to sell it at a loss. And again, this is probably like maybe 7%, of the time, like of all the items that I have, this is probably like 7%. But I think over time it has accumulated in that. If that didn't work out, I didn't just let it sit there and make no money on it. I was able to get some money back. And so again, it's not a big percentage of what I sell, and I don't regularly take losses, but I do know that sometimes you have to. And like Walmart doesn't have items on their shelf for forever trying to sell it at full price. If it doesn't sell, or they only have a few left or whatever, they're going to go put it on clearance. And maybe they're going to lose money or maybe not, but they're going to get rid of it. They're going to clearance it out. They're going to liquidate it. They're going to remove it from their shelves, cut those losses and move on. So whether it's an actual loss or just saying I'm done with this item and I'm moving on, even if you don't sell it for a loss, I think knowing when to cut your losses is a key to success. The next thing is replicating what works. So again, I love selling Zara. I love selling White House Black Market. I love selling my boutique items. I love selling McDougal formal dresses. I love selling things that I have proven that sell well for me. And then I find more of them, and then I sell them over and over and over again. And so it may not be the exact thing, but maybe it helps me identify a model or a brand or an item type or something that works, something that clicks, and then I go out and do more and more of it. So I've told people in the past, like in a Poshmark closet review, if we look at their solds and we see that they sold 3 Harley Davidson leather vests. Okay, and those sold for $40 plus or whatever, and they're good, it's good money. How can you find more of those? How can you specifically go out and target other Harley Davidson leather vests? And then maybe it's not just leather vests, maybe it's leather jackets, and maybe it's t-shirts, and maybe it's other things of Harley Davidson because you didn't know before, but after selling 3 of them for good money, now you've identified that this is a thing, and now you can build upon that and replicate it. So for you, it may not be Harley Davidson leather vests. Maybe it's vintage nightgowns. Maybe it's, Brooks Brothers suits. I don't know, whatever. But the point is that when you get something that happens that's good, and then you kind of get it a couple more times, or maybe you on purpose try to make it happen a couple more times, and you identify a pattern, then you just replicate it and you kind of pour gasoline on the fire and you do what you can to make more of that success happen, and don't focus so much on experimenting with other things that may or may not work. Put your money and your time behind the things that have proven to work and keep doing that. So I definitely think that number 2, replicating things that work, is a huge reason for my success, because I love replicating things. Partly because I'm lazy. So it's easy to sell the same thing over and over again than it is to find new things to sell. So replication for me is definitely a key to success. I want to make you aware of the hottest, the best deal I have ever offered in my Rebecca the Reseller Academy. To find it, all you have to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom and you will find this right here. Hot deal, best value, all courses and digital downloads for life. This is it, friends. This is as good as it's going to get. I'm giving you everything I have in my academy, all the digital downloads, all the courses for just $20. The best part is if I create a new digital download going forward, you will get it absolutely free. This is the time to lock in the best deal I have ever offered. All you have to do is go to Rebecca the Reseller Academy, scroll down to Hot Deal, and purchase it for $20. If you're wondering what comes in this, it's everything. So you're going to get all of my courses, and you're also going to get all of the digital downloads that I've created, including my keywords list, my listing forms, my Poshmark closet signs, everything that I have created and everything that I ever will create will be yours for literally 20 bucks. The next thing is finding a way to make things work. And I really think this kind of goes back to number one, which is, if I have something that's not selling, then I'm going to find a way to make it sell, whether it's drop the price, change the cover photo, what's missing in the listing. Maybe I didn't have measurements. Now I add measurements. Is this not the right place to sell it? Maybe this is something I should be selling on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe this is something that should be better sold at ThreadUp or better sold at The RealReal. What kind of item is it? First of all, making sure that I don't buy any more of it. We stop the replication if it's proven not to work. And then I make it work by saying, how can I focus in and influence the sale of this item? Are my sales generating activities dialed in? Is there a new sales generating activity that I can tweak or change to get more sales to happen? Like recently, I have been working on my 2 for $30 sale. I've really identified that that is the everyday promotion that works the best. I've tried many, that's the one. I have tweaked it, dialed it in, done even more to make it super successful. And even now, when it generates lots of sales for me every single month, I'm still looking at it to say, how can I do better? How can I convert this a little bit more? So I'm always committed to finding a way to make it work. The next thing is focusing only on what you can control. And this definitely comes up in Poshmark closet reviews. This comes up when people have comments on my YouTube videos and they tell me this scenario is happening. They got a 4-star review because of blah, 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 or, this is happening and someone told them that, or there's a lot of this nyam, 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 nyam on Poshmark. And that's not for me. I just, I'm not a drama person. So none of that feels good to me. The less I talk to people on Poshmark, the better. And so people get especially when you're new and you don't have a big business yet. So it's very easy to get stuck in the weeds of every comment and every rating and every scenario that's happening. And you just can't control any of that. Whether it's the 4-star rating or Poshmark comes out with a new feature or Poshmark comes out with some new crazy thing, you can't control any of that. Poshmark is going to make changes. It's their platform, not yours. People out there are going to say mean stuff and be rude and whatever. It is what it is. You can't change that. So that doesn't mean don't work in your business. That doesn't mean get derailed for the entire afternoon finding out what the new reseller drama is with so-and-so. None of that is helpful to you in your business. And the more you stay out of it, the better. And focusing on the things you can control, I can put up quality listings. I can enhance the photos that I create. I can enhance the listing that I generate, and that can help the customer have a better experience. And so that could lead to more 5-star reviews down the road. Yes. Or if I got a case opened up against me because I didn't do something, I didn't disclose something, how can I fix that? That's something I can control. I can't control how the lady talked to me about it, but I can control aiding that scenario so it doesn't happen in the future. I can control how many listings I put up every day. I can't control exactly how many sales I get every day. And if sales are slow and everybody on Instagram is complaining that sales are slow, I can't worry about that. What I can do is list 10 items today. That's what I can do. I can go to the store and I can source 20 items today. That's something I can do. And so I just don't get bogged down in the drama, in the negativity, or really anything that is outside of my control. All I can control is my actions, my virtual assistant's actions. I can control my Posher VA bot. I can control what I buy, how much I pay for it, what I list it for. There is so much within my control that worrying about things that are outside of my control is not helpful. And I wish that more resellers would take that advice because I'd probably get a lot less comments because they're always about stuff like this. But just take a deep breath and just focus on your business. Don't focus on anybody else's business. And then I think the last one, again, sort of feeds into this, but is avoiding time wasting and comparison. So there are many ways that resellers waste time on a daily basis because I hear about it all the time. I see them on Instagram do it. I see it in people's Poshmark closets. And then I talk about it when I have coaching calls and stuff. People organize their closet by color, by category. People sort things 10 times while they're hanging it up on racks. People have a million piles of to mend, to wash, to this. People have death piles of millions of items sitting there, but yet they go out and source more. They have Goodwill bags all over their house. They say that they're going to set up an inventory system, but they never do. Then they can't find things when they sell it. Then they have to cancel the sale. Like, there's so many things that resellers do wrong, that waste time, that don't serve their business. And I wish that people would waste less time as resellers. Organizing your closet doesn't matter. Replying back to every case doesn't matter. Replying back to people after they've left you a 4-star review doesn't matter. Organizing things on the rack doesn't matter. Making a pile that you know you're never going to mend doesn't matter. Stop doing that. Stop wasting time. Stop doing things that don't generate sales, that only just generate time wasted. Stop doing those things. And I don't do really any of that. Everything that I've described, I don't do. Some things I might have done in the past, and then I learned my lesson. I stopped doing it. And then the other part of that is comparison. Stop wasting time comparing yourself to me, or yourself to the other influencer, on Instagram that's a reseller, or the other girl that's got a YouTube channel, or whomever. Comparison doesn't do anything. I'm not out there comparing myself to anyone. What I am doing is taking a scan, reading the room, and getting a feel of what people do and identifying if any of that is something that seems like it would work for me. And that's how sometimes I get ideas. And that is how I did a lot of things in the very beginning when I didn't have my own systems in place. I definitely looked to others to generate how did I want to run my reselling business. But over time, you learn to trust yourself as a reseller and as an entrepreneur, and you find what works for you. And continuing to look at others is not helpful. So if you're looking to someone for inspiration to get an idea to then turn around and internalize into your business, I'm all for that. But comparison just for comparison's sake of, well, she sells high-end dresses and I only sell stupid stuff that I get from estate sales. I'm never going to be as good of a reseller as her. Or she can buy pallets and I can't afford to buy pallets, so I'm not, and so then you set up all these limiting beliefs for yourself. Or look at how many packages she's sending out and how, none of that is helpful. None of that is helpful. What you can do is if you can look at someone else and take a view, that's okay. That's good. But the comparison just for comparison's sake is very terrible. And I hope that you don't do it because it doesn't move you forward. And I don't do that. It's just really never been, something that I do. And I did look to others, but I didn't compare. I looked for inspiration, I looked for ideas, and then I said, now what do I want to do? And how am I going to implement that? And usually I don't even just take their idea right the same way. I usually tweak it because I'm difficult like that. And so I think that most people out there would do a lot better with their reselling if they just kept their nose to their own business. I always tell my son, who's in elementary school, and I say, keep your eyes on your own paper. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Just keep your eyes focused on what you're doing. And that is some of the best reseller advice that I could give to anyone, again, after 10 years of doing this. So I wish you guys all of the best. I hope that you take a nugget away from this and start implementing it in your business so that you can become even more successful. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Poshmark VA is a tax-deductible business investment that pays for itself many times over each month. It increases Poshmark sales because it shares and sends offers more than I ever could manually. It handles all my shares, automatic offer to likers, bulk offers, and it can do price drops and relists. When my coaching clients add Poshmark VA, it makes more sales basically immediately. The best part is that you get your time back. More time with family, thrifting, whatever. Get 20% off with code Rebecca the Reseller and the link below.